Have you ever felt like some people treat respect as optional, something they could take or leave? They interrupt you, throw out sarcastic remarks, or act like your time and feelings don't matter. We're often told to just grin and bear it, to let it go. But not today. If you're tired of putting up with disrespect, this video is for you. In it, I'll show you how to address disrespect head on, with confidence and clarity. More importantly, you'll learn how to hold your boundaries without losing your cool or compromising your self-worth. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to establish clear boundaries and make it crystal clear to others. Your boundaries are non-negotiable. Let's dive in. 1. When a silent look says it all. Have you ever tried using a silent look to handle disrespectful behavior? It might sound simple, but it's one of the most effective techniques I've ever learned. When someone acts rudely or tries to provoke you, what they're really after is a reaction. They want you to feel embarrassed, flustered, or engage in an argument. But if you respond with nothing but a calm, silent stare, their power dynamic flips instantly. People who provoke others often aim to drag you into their performance. Your silence throws them off balance. They don't know what to do when they don't get the reaction they expect. Let me share a story to illustrate the power of this technique. During a family gathering, there was a relative who constantly criticized everything from the food and decorations to everyone's stories. When he directed a disrespectful comment at me, I didn't react or argue. I simply looked at him silently, maintaining a calm and neutral expression. What happened next was fascinating. He became visibly uncomfortable, awkward, and eventually stopped altogether. For the rest of the event, not only did he refrain from being rude, but he also treated me with more respect. It was as if he finally understood that I wasn't someone he could easily dismiss or belittle. A silent look, a powerful message without words. When you use a silent look, you're sending a clear message. I'm not playing your game. I refuse to be dragged into this argument. I am asserting my right to peace and dignity. No words, no arguments. With just a calm, steady gaze, you take control of the situation and protect your self-worth without lowering yourself to their level. Next time you face disrespect, give this a try. Sometimes, and the strongest way to defend yourself is to say nothing at all. The power of the silent look. When someone disrespects us, our natural reaction is often to defend ourselves, explain, or worse, shrink back to avoid conflict. But the silent look is not aggressive. It's a way to assert that you won't be dragged into their negativity. People who habitually disrespect others often do so without much thought, as if they've never faced consequences. But when you respond with a calm, steady gaze, you act as a mirror to their behavior. They're forced to confront their own actions, and that changes the dynamic entirely. The magic of the silent look. The silent look doesn't just stop someone's rude behavior. It also reinforces your own self-esteem. When you stand there, calmly and resolutely, you remind yourself that their words or actions can't shake you. I used to respond to rudeness with polite smiles or over-explaining myself, which left me feeling drained and powerless. But when I learned to just stay silent and let my gaze Speak for me. Everything changed. It's not just a small act of defiance. It's a powerful declaration of self-worth. If someone is rude, crosses a boundary, or tries to make you feel small, try the silent look. Just look at them, calmly, and let the weight of your gaze speak volumes. You'll be surprised how unsettled they become, unsure of what to do next. More importantly, you'll feel empowered. The silent look sends a clear message. I respect myself too much to get caught up in your negativity. It's not just a reaction, it's a bold affirmation that you know your worth. And that's a message worth sending anytime, anywhere. 2. Let silence be your answer. Have you ever realized that silence can be an incredibly powerful weapon? When someone disrespects you, sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. I know this might sound passive, like you're letting them get away with it. But the truth is, silence is far from weak. It's a choice, a deliberate and powerful one. By choosing not to engage with their negativity, you force them to confront their own behavior. That silence speaks volumes on its own. People who disrespect others often expect a reaction. They're looking for an argument, a justification, or even just a little embarrassment from you to validate their behavior. But your silence sends a clear message. I won't waste my energy on you. I'm not here to entertain your disrespect. Sometimes, the most impactful form of communication is silence. It's a subtle reminder that they're not worth your time or words. A story about the power of silence. I once had a friend who masked insults as harmless jokes. You know, the type always pushing boundaries under the guise of humor. One day, he made an unnecessary comment about my personal life, clearly intending to provoke me. Normally, I might have tried to explain myself, or worse, clapped back. But this time, I chose differently. I simply looked at him, raised an eyebrow, and said nothing. I let his words hang in the air, forcing him to sit in the awkward silence he had created. He looked away, mumbled something, and quickly changed the subject. After that, he stopped dragging me into his ridiculous banter altogether. It was as if he realized I wasn't someone he could easily rattle. The power of silence. Silence does more than words ever could. It doesn't just stop rude behavior, it removes negativity from your focus entirely. It's a powerful way to protect yourself without losing your composure. When faced with disrespect, choosing silence allows you to eliminate negativity from your life. Send a clear message that you won't tolerate such behavior. Maintain your self-respect and control the situation without arguing. Try it sometime. Silence carries far more weight than you might imagine. Silence as inner strength. When you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. Silence isn't just a reaction, it's a statement. I value my peace more than I value your opinion of me. This choice empowers you and transforms you from the inside out. We often feel pressured to respond, explain, or defend our choices to people who don't deserve our attention. But when you remain silent, you refuse to play by their rules. You stand firm without arguing or justifying yourself, sending the clear message, you're not worth my words. Silence not only helps you stay in control, but it also allows you to refocus your energy. It acts as a filter, keeping your peace intact while blocking out the negativity. Others try to throw your way. The moment you stop feeling the need to react to every rude comment, criticism, or provocation, you free yourself. You no longer let anyone intrude on your inner world. You start living life on your terms, unaffected by outside negativity. Learning to embrace silence. I'll admit, learning to embrace silence wasn't easy for me at first. I used to think that if I didn't stand up for myself, I'd seem weak or passive. But over time, I realized that every time I responded to people who disrespected me, I ended up feeling drained. On the other hand, when I chose silence and let their comments pass, like background noise, I felt lighter, stronger, and more in control. Each time I chose silence over reacting, I felt like I was reclaiming a piece of my power. The next time someone disrespects you, try this. Pause, take a deep breath, look them in the eye, say nothing. Let your silence speak for you. You'll be surprised by how uncomfortable it makes them and how liberating it feels for you. Let silence be your answer, because sometimes saying nothing is the loudest statement you can make. 3. Stop explaining your choices. Have you noticed how whenever you make a personal decision, there's always someone who wants to know why? Why did you choose that? Why didn't you attend the event? Why did you leave a stable job? It's as if people think they're entitled to an explanation for every choice you make. But the truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. Your choices are yours. You don't need to justify them. This might sound counterintuitive, but when someone questions your decisions, they're often not seeking to understand. They're looking to judge, pressure you into reconsidering, or make you doubt yourself. In many cases, their questions are just a way to make themselves feel better about their own choices by making you question yours. Take back control. When you stop explaining yourself, you take back control. You send a clear message that your life isn't up for debate or judgment. People often feel entitled to explanations because your decisions challenge their worldview. Maybe you're taking risks while they fear failure. Maybe you're stepping out of your comfort zone while they cling to theirs. But just because your independence makes them uncomfortable doesn't mean you need to soothe that discomfort. Your life isn't a public service announcement. You don't owe anyone an explanation for what you choose to do. When I decided to switch careers and leave a stable job to follow my passion, it came with a lot of risks. People reacted like I'd announced a move to Mars. Why leave a secure job? They'd ask. At first, I tried to explain. I talked about my passion, my plans, my dreams. But the more I explained, the more questions they asked, and the more I doubted myself. Then I realized what was happening. I stopped explaining. I stopped trying to convince others to understand my decisions. And here's the interesting part. When I stopped responding, people stopped questioning. Don't let others make you doubt yourself. You don't need to justify your decisions to anyone. If your choices challenge their perspectives, that's their issue, not yours. Their discomfort isn't your responsibility. Whenever you feel pressured to explain, remember this: your life is yours. Confidence comes from respecting what you know is right for you. By refusing to explain, you not only protect your self-worth, but also maintain control over the life you're building. One day, when someone asked about my decision, I simply answered, "Because I want to." No further explanation, no details, and let me tell you, it felt amazing. The silence that followed said everything. The beauty of not explaining yourself. Here's the beauty of refusing to explain. It frees you. When you stand firm in your truth and know your decisions are valid simply because you made them, you stop wasting energy justifying. Instead, you use that energy to live the life you want. Your life doesn't need an audience's approval. Not every decision needs to be analyzed or approved by others. When you stop explaining, you're sending a message. I'm confident enough in my choices that I don't need your validation. Confident people don't explain. Think about it. When was the last time you saw someone truly confident, breaking down and defending their decisions to others? Probably never. People who own their lives don't seek external approval. They know the only validation that matters is their own. A challenge for you. The next time someone questions your decision, resist the urge to explain. Instead, say something simple like, "Because I want to. It's the right choice for me." Then, let the silence speak for itself. You'll find that this simple response holds immense power. You'll feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace with yourself. Best of all, you'll realize that your choices don't need anyone else's approval. They're valid simply because you made them. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos. And if you're loving this kind of wisdom, drop a comment below saying, "Loving this wisdom." 4. Keep your distance. Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, some people will never respect your values or boundaries? Here's a hard truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. When someone consistently disrespects you, one of the healthiest choices you can make is to create distance. This doesn't mean harboring resentment or reacting dramatically. It simply means valuing yourself enough to protect your energy and peace. Distance is protection, not coldness. Creating distance doesn't mean ignoring people or being cold toward them. It's about choosing where and how you invest your time and emotions. Think of your life as a private club with limited access. Not everyone gets a VIP pass. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, drains your energy, or makes you uncomfortable, why keep them close? Setting boundaries gives you clarity, free from emotional manipulation or guilt. Consider this. Keeping disrespectful people in your orbit is like inviting them to an emotional party where they criticize, judge, and belittle you. Then we wonder why. We feel drained or frustrated, when the truth is, we've given them too much access to our inner world. Creating distance isn't selfish. It's a way to protect your mental health, preserve your peace, and make space for people who truly respect and uplift you. I once had a friend who constantly made snide comments about my choices, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first, I told myself it was just their personality and that I was overreacting. I tried to keep them close, brushing off their remarks as no big deal. But over time, those small comments started to weigh on me. I realized I was walking on eggshells, always bracing myself for the next criticism. One day, I tried something different. Without a big announcement or confrontation, I simply began seeing them less often. Weekly hangouts turned into monthly ones. And you know what? I felt lighter, freer. Distance to protect yourself. That space helped me see how toxic the friendship had become. It reminded me that I deserve friends who support my growth and uplift me, not ones who drag me down. Some people might tell you that creating distance is selfish. They'll say, but they're family, or you've known them for years. It can be uncomfortable, even guilt-inducing, to admit that someone close to you isn't good for you. But the truth is, you have every right to protect your peace and mental health. Remember, keeping your distance isn't about hurting others. It's about protecting yourself, reclaiming your peace. Society teaches us to be loyal, forgiving, and kind. But at what cost? Here's the truth. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's essential. You weren't put on this earth to be anyone's emotional punching bag or constant source of validation. Sometimes, the best way to show someone you've had enough is by stepping back. Keeping your distance isn't just an action, it's a powerful statement that you are your own priority. You don't have to play the roles others assign to you, and you don't owe anyone access to your time, thoughts, or emotions. The deeper meaning of distance. When you create distance from people who disrespect you, you're affirming that your mental health and peace come first. This isn't just self-care. It's an opportunity to focus on the relationships that truly matter, those that uplift and inspire you. Think about it. When you spend time with people who respect you, you feel confident and fulfilled. On the other hand, the less time you spend with those who drain you, the less power they have over your thoughts, mood, and life. At first, I felt guilty about stepping back from people who weren't kind to me. I wondered if I was overreacting. But over time, I realized that creating distance wasn't just about reducing negativity, it was about making room for growth. Reflect on your relationships. Think about the people in your life who consistently makes you feel small, drained, or undervalued. Do they truly deserve as much access to you as they currently have? Sometimes, the clearest answers are the hardest to face. But remember this, you're under no obligation to maintain anyone's presence in your life if it comes at the expense of your peace and well-being. By creating distance, you're not just keeping negativity at bay, you're opening space for growth and building meaningful, healthy relationships. Most importantly, you're affirming to yourself that you deserve peace and respect. And that's a message worth sending to others and to yourself. 5. Hold your head high. Have you ever felt like someone was deliberately trying to make you feel small, as if they took pleasure in putting you down? In those moments, you may have heard the classic advice, hold your head high. It sounds simple, even cliché, but in reality, it's a powerful tool for dealing with disrespect. When someone disrespects you, they often aim to see you shrink, doubt your worth, lower your gaze, or step back. But when you stand tall and hold your head high, you send a silent yet powerful message. I know my worth, and nothing you do can diminish it. The power of confidence. This simple gesture radiates confidence. It can make disrespectful people uncomfortable because they thrive on believing their words or actions can control or shake you. But when you refuse to let their behavior affect you, when you walk with poise and confidence, you're asserting that they hold no power over you. Your confidence becomes an invisible shield, throwing them off balance and causing them to doubt their own power instead of yours. I used to deal with someone who loved making snide remarks every time we met. You know the type, smiling while making comments that leave you unsure if they're joking or outright insulting. At first, I tried brushing it off, but it truly bothered me. One day, I decided I was done shielding myself from their jabs. I walked in with my head held high, and each time they made a comment, I simply looked at them, smiled, and carried on, as if nothing had happened. The result? Astonishing. They began retreating, realizing their words no longer affected me. The power they thought they had evaporated entirely. I had risen above it all. Head held high, your invisible wall. Holding your head high acts like an invisible wall, a psychological shield that only you can create. Disrespectful people often hate this because it disrupts their worldview. They want to believe they can dominate you, that they own a piece of your confidence. But when you walk with self-assuredness, you shatter the narrative they've constructed. It's important to remember, holding your head high isn't about confronting or hurting others. It's about reclaiming your own space. It's a reflection of self-respect, a way of living confidently in your worth without needing anyone else's validation. A declaration of self-worth. Holding your head high is more than just a physical action. It's a profound statement of self-respect. It says, no matter what you say or do, I know I deserve respect. Self-worth isn't something you wait for others to grant you. It's something you give to yourself. When you hold your head high, you live as though you already have everything you need, because the truth is, you do. It's a reminder that you are the main character in your story. No one else's opinion has the right to make you feel less than. The journey to holding your head high. This wasn't easy for me at first. I used to lower my gaze, avoid eye contact, and shrink myself to avoid the sting of criticism. But over time, I realized that every time I held my head high and refused to let others' negativity seep into my soul, I grew stronger. It's a reminder that my value doesn't hinge on anyone's approval. I can stand tall, proud of who I am, knowing I deserve respect. Holding your head high isn't just about how you stand, it's about how you show up. When you walk into a room, act like you belong there. Don't shrink yourself to fit into others' expectations of who you should be. If someone makes a rude comment aimed at putting you down, remember, they're not seeing the real you. They're projecting their own insecurities onto you. Next time you face disrespect, take a deep breath, straighten your shoulders, hold your head high, and look them in the eye, as if to say, I see you, but I'm up here. You'll feel a surge of confidence and the peace that comes with knowing their words hold no power over you. Remember, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for others to disrespect you. So stand tall, embrace your worth, and know that you deserve every ounce of confidence. Holding your head high isn't just how you face the world, it's how you affirm your value to yourself. From my perspective, silence and self-respect are incredibly powerful tools for dealing with disrespectful behavior while safeguarding your self-esteem. When you choose not to react to provocations, instead responding with a calm gaze or standing tall with your head held high, you send a clear message. Negativity has no power over your worth. This isn't about submission or avoidance. It's about affirming that you live in your inner world, a world that isn't easily shaken by external influences. Learning to maintain distance and stop explaining yourself to those who don't respect you is a clear declaration that you prioritize your peace and personal strength over pleasing others. Respect must begin with you. When you confidently assert your worth through small but decisive actions, you not only protect yourself, but also set a higher standard. This compels those around you to adjust how they treat you, offering the respect you rightfully deserve. So now you know a few ways to deal with people who don't appreciate your value. Life is too short to change yourself just to please those who don't deserve it. Always remember, you don't need anyone's permission to be true to yourself. Protect your peace and build a meaningful life on your own terms. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more content on mastering your life and building confidence for personal growth. Share this video with someone who might need a reminder about their worth and the importance of setting boundaries. And if you have stories or experiences about handling disrespect or establishing boundaries, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video. And always remember, respect starts with you.